Hey everyone, welcome to Meeple Bits. Thanks for joining me today. So in today's episode of Organizing Bits, we're going to tackle the game Wingspan. So I love this game, and let me start this video off by first saying this game does not need an upgrade to its insert or anything of that capacity. However, I did want to take the additional step to sort of just upgrade some of its components that I felt could be a little more organized for my taste, but as well as upgrade the chits to full-on printed tokens. So with that, let's go ahead and crack this thing open, see what's inside and why it doesn't really need an insert, but why I went ahead and did some upgrades anyway. So to begin, there we go. You'll notice that this thing is super organized. Everything really has a nice place. There's these shrink trays, which work really well. I did not do anything new for the card tray, so I left that one as is. So this is going to be a sort of partial upgrade to this box and the insert and the components, but we'll see what we're dealing with. So let's go ahead and remove all the different pieces and tackle them individually. Okay, let me address the card shrink tray first, because this one I did not mess with at all. So here I felt that the cards were well organized. Everything does have a good place. Now these are sliding around a bit, but with the lid on, that's not a problem at all. So with that, everything here in this shrink tray, I didn't mess with because, well, mostly because my printer is too small to print this in one go. So this tray stays as is, and all the components live right inside there as normal. So the first thing that I really wanted to upgrade was this guy here, the dice tower. Again, it's kind of novelty. This part you don't really need because you could just roll the dice in this tray, and then what's in it is in the dice tray, and then what you pull out is fine. So you could just roll the dice directly in here, no problem. But because this is full punch board, I was worried that over time it wouldn't stand the test of time. So let me go ahead and snap that on. So here's what we have for the dice tower. Okay. Again, it's fundamentally fine. No issues there. But what we went ahead and did is we printed a full-on upgrade, okay? Same style, same design, same detachment that we were used to, and just like this, it goes on. Stays in here, and so I may go back and paint this one, but painting is a whole adventure to itself if you guys have ever messed with miniature painting before. So I may go through and give this guy a coat of paint just to jazz it up like this, but for now, this one works beautifully. And actually, let's give it a test. All right, cool. So this was the first piece that we upgraded, and then really this was the main thing that I wanted to change. So the tower's upgraded, but to store it, much like that piece, it will need to be detached when putting it into the box. We'll tackle that in just a minute. The dice were so good, they clearly don't need an upgrade. These things are full on wood. Okay, so next is going to be, and let me slide this over here. Okay, next we are going to tackle the eggs. Okay, so really the eggs and the storage and the shrink trays. So these shrink trays are pretty darn good. You know, they keep everything in there, and in fact, when you're playing the game, all you need to do is pop the top for the most part, and then you've got a community tray for the resources, right? So this is all good and well, no problems. But instead, we're gonna upgrade to. We had to print 2 of them. The files that will be linked down below. I guess it could have done a little bit more height, and then I could have got away with, and maybe looking back, hindsight, you might want to add a couple mil height to this thing. That way you only need to print 1 of these. But otherwise, now we've got lids and storage trays for the eggs. Okay. Now, I'm not going to get rid of these shrink trays just in case. But now, this is what we have. Community storage, nice and sturdy, and the good thing is that they're not going to slide out. Now, again, this one, it doesn't have much depth to it, so it's easy to slide out. Whereas now with the egg trays, get on there, lid. All set. Okay, the next piece that we're going to tackle is let's do the player cubes. Okay, so the player cubes are these wooden cubes. Okay, 1 in each of 5 different colors for all the players. And again, fundamentally, these are fine. They're nice wooden cubes. Okay, no issues there. But what we're going to upgrade to is individual storage boxes. Now I printed these guys in a wood filament for the storage box, and then I just used a standard PLA for the lid. Okay, so what we're going to do instead is print houses, little birdhouses, for each of the player colors. Now we've got these sturdy, plastic houses for each of the player colors and types. So instead of handing out a baggie with the 8 tokens for the players, everyone just picks their color, and each of these have a unique design on their birdhouse. So purple, well, purple got a different style. Same thing with red, yellow, green, all these guys. They all got their own unique and different house styles. So you have to pick a color and have a unique birdhouse on top of it. Okay, so that's the same for all of them. Now, these lids are very loose. So again, looking back, I would have added a millimeter or 2 to the lid slider just to make sure that they stayed on tighter, but I had already committed to the print and I didn't want to have to go back and mess with it. But overall, it'll work out fine. Next and lastly are the resources. Okay, so here's the resources that we get, again, in the shrink tray, and they're chits, right? So we've got these chits in each of the 5 resources. So instead of this, and the shrink trays for the chits, we are going to upgrade to designed full 3D pieces in each of the resources. So, example, the fish, they get their own storage container and a little fish. So this one was also something that I really wanted to upgrade, because in the shrink tray, sometimes you start digging around for the right resource. And again, not that that's a fundamental issue, but now with each resource having their own container, it's easy just to, go and pick out and grab the resource that you're looking for, like the invertebra or the rodents, which I think are super neat. And then they go right back in there, and then we've got a nice storage box. Okay, so with that, again, this one has nice instructions on how to store the the insert as is. So we're gonna have to make a couple of modifications and concessions and just really figure it out. And the main reason is because we didn't print this, okay? So this one has a lip down bottom here, which again is okay, but this entire lip here is what's gonna cause us some trouble, okay? Everything on the inside, as you'll see, if it were this size, it would work out fine. But because of this extra lip, we're gonna be a little tight in the space and we have to sort of work around that. So with that, let's go ahead and put all the pieces back in here. The dice go down there because I need to make room for everything else that I have. Now here's where things get a little bit trickier, okay? Trying to figure out exactly which pieces need to go where. So I need to fill in space down here as well as up top. Okay, and here we have it. Everything in its place. Again, it takes a little bit different type of configuration because you're sliding things in quite a bit differently. For example, I've got these stacked up tall, but I should be perfectly okay to then store everything else right on top and have the lid sit flush. So no lip, we are good. Now it's obviously just a little bit of air, but when I store it upright, we're okay. It's most of my games will kind of pull itself apart a little bit, but otherwise, all set. So that'll do it for this one. All the links for the components used are going to be down below if you guys want to take the time to do something similar. And again, does everything need an upgrade? Absolutely not. The main piece was I wanted to get a new dice tower birdhouse. Oh, and then lastly, the last thing that I did end up printing was a first player token. So I got this little wooden owl. Again, I might need to paint them, but otherwise, it's a different tactile token to the just sort of, bird that is on the disc. So that's the last piece, which I guess I need to open this back up and throw them in there. But otherwise, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions or comments about the insert, please leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to help out and answer them. If you've enjoyed the video and you like the content, I do appreciate the support. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, until next time, everyone, thanks so much for watching.